Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Bionic Commando. In the last part we continued on through more of the game stages, and now it's time for us to enter Area 9. Something I haven't quite touched on in my personal life or otherwise is the Game Boy version of this game, because like a lot of NES games that were popular, this did get a Game Boy port, but it's more of a remake of this game in a similar vein to what Rearmed would later be. It changes some story points around, especially towards the end game, but mechanically it's basically the exact same, and I think the stage designs are different as well. The best way you can compare it is that, from what I've seen of it at least, it's Mega Man World from the Game Boy Mega Man games as Bionic Commando. This is M2. We've captured the enemy. I want to know about the underground path, but I don't know anywhere to start. Would you please come to Area 7? We'll get to there. There's one more weapon that can destroy the walls. And we'll be getting that this part, even though I mentioned its name last part. This part of the stage can be dangerous if you're slow about it. We have mine carts just going down these tracks randomly, and if they hit you, I think they hurt you. Although you can also stand on top of them as a platform, but I got me a bionic arm. I don't need no platforms. Like that, at least. And with that, we're already at the boss fight of this stage. And it's a rather familiar boss fight because it's another platoon. Your effort is wasted. We've just transferred Joe to another location. Well, it has to be one of the stations we haven't been to yet, but at the same time, it's a platoon. Just shoot the enemies and focus on the core. That's all you really need to focus on. And for beating this stage, I believe we get the weapon they mentioned, the three-way? Am I saying that a little bit early? No, there it is. Very short range, but it travels forward. It's basically the elect beam, actually, for Mega Man, where it shoots forward and directly above and below your gun. However, its range is incredibly short. Similarly to the rocket launcher, though, it can destroy certain girders, though they're colored red rather than white. This next neutral area is an interesting one in that it has one of the game's more secretive things, I guess. We were waiting for you. Please come in. Oh, we've got a little boy now. This is the guy in the person in the previous stage of the communication mentioned that was captured. As soon as we can get over to him, which is kind of tricky, we can talk to him. Okay, I'll talk. Underground paths run between areas 14 and 17 and 15 and 18. By talking to him, we've now unlocked 2 shortcuts in the map between those 2 stages. However, it's also an underground pathway, and if we walk along those, we'll actually enter a unique field stage. And we're going to need to do that, because not only is it a shortcut, but there's also a unique item we can only get in there. We've located Joe. He's at POW camp in Area 7. Please hurry. Alright, I guess we should head over there. But first, let's talk about the new field area, because we're in Area 18, so that gives us a shortcut over to Area... No, we're in 17, we have a shortcut over to 14, rather. And, you know what, I might as well take the other one, because that's I think one of the more fast ways to get to Area 7. The third field area, which is the last of the field areas, by the way, is pretty straightforward. In fact, I mentioned Akari Warriors back in part 1, it's just straight up that. The blue soldiers that are the unique enemies for this one use your own A button claw attack to shoot away yourself or your shots, but they're still really easy to kill the rocket launcher. The most important thing in that stage is that there's a helmet at the end of it. That is the second armor type equipment piece in the game, and it protects you from 3 shots. Honestly, out of the armor types, it's probably my favorite in the long run, but you also get to use it for a lot, so that's probably why. Heading over to Area 7, though, it's at this point, if you have any grinding to do for max health, if you want to do it, I recommend just going back into one of the previous stages to do it. Particularly the Metroid-like ones, or the ones where you just have a lot more wandering to do, like, I think it was Areas 8 and 6? No, 8 and 5, I think. Either way, the one that I recommended grinding in that I did last part or so. Because going forward, there's going to be a lot more enemies at times, yes, but not all of them are going to drop ammo. And in what cases there are ammo, you're just going to want to rush through the stages anyway just to get it over with, because some of these late game stages can get kind of hard to get through, even if they're pretty short. So my focus is not going to be on killing enemies as much as it is getting around them. Going to this stage, we need a three-way gun just so we can get rid of that. And now we're just stuck with it. I hear there's a way you can get through this stage with the rocket launcher, but I've never done it. I've always just used the three-way gun. There's a lot of things I've heard about this game, but I've never just out of a lack of experimentation or caring, really. Though an important thing to note is that you can grab onto the rock wall up here, which is surprisingly hard to tell because it looks like it's a background object out of Terraria. I used to play that game all the time with my friends Scott and Andrew. I know Scott's been on the channel a couple times, but I don't think Andrew has it all yet, and I really should get him on for something. I know there's a new update coming out for it, or is out. I actually don't remember if there's been a release date for that yet. And supposedly it's going to be the final update for the game, which it's a pretty good long legacy. It's one of the few Let's Look Ats I did back when that series was something I was attempting to make in the vein of Total Biscuit's WTF Is. Memories of my rather tiny things that I did for the channel early on. And now I need to do another one of the giant robot dude fights, and I don't feel like trying to stand behind him to destroy the main computer with the short range of the three-way gun. So I went the long way around this fight, and it took a while, hence why I'm fast-forwarding through it. The three-way gun is, without a doubt, my least favorite gun in the game, even more so than the starting gun, just because its range is so pitiful. Even the wide gun, while its range isn't the best either, has some better spread to it due to going in, I think, 4 or 5 directions instead of 3. And I think it did more damage, too. Because I think if you hit an enemy with all of them up close, it dealt the damage of all 4. The three-way gun's also incredibly weak, as you can see, because it takes a lot of shots to destroy the main computer! I don't like this weapon. Thankfully, it's the only time we have to use it. Mr. Joe, I've come to rescue you. Thank you. I'm sorry to cause so much trouble. Captain, something terrible is going to happen. Remember there was a plan in the bad secret documents about building a huge laser cannon? The Empire is trying to accomplish what the bads couldn't do. However, they cannot complete this project because the person with the key knowledge is dead. His name is Master D. To finish the project, Kilt is trying to resurrect him, but has been unable to do so. Captain, we must stop him before this project gets too big. I'm going to Area 12 now. Can you fight with me? I have given a special machine gun to a man called Destroyer 3 in Area 18. You should use that gun. Alright, let's go grab it. Yeah, that's, I think, the only stage in the game, barring the final level, where you actually don't get a reward for beating it. You have to go into this neutral area here to get it. And we're gonna do that. This is Destroyer 1. No, I don't have any need for a machine gun. We were told to talk to Destroyer 3, not Destroyer 1. There's nothing in here, which makes me think there was something in there in the Japanese version. We want to talk to Destroyer 3, who's the dude in the white over here. I am Destroyer 3. Do you have any need for a machine gun? Why, yes, I do. Oh, yeah, someone just asked me to tell you that Delta is in town located between those mountains. Do you know what it means? Yes, I do, and it's a tedious thing to me. Here is Joe's super gun, I think is what it's called. The best way I can compare it is Neon Tiger's weapon from Mega Man X3, where it fires semi-randomly, but it's a machine gun overall. If you can get right in front of an enemy, it'll do a lot of damage. And in fact, I'm actually going to show off this this field area just to show off the weapon, because it's the only time I'm going to use it. If you mash the button, you can get a lot of shots going out very quickly, but the randomness to me makes it unreliable, plus it's relatively low damage. For boss fights, at least. I would still rather use the rocket launcher. In fact, I'm still going to use the rocket launcher. Speaking of which, we need it, because now we need to head back into Area 15 because we need the Delta communicator. You remember how when we were here, like in part 1 or 2, there was this girder here? We need to destroy it. This is the only time the game makes you fire in a neutral area. I've heard there's some bizarre jump you can make with the Bionic Claw that puts you beneath the stage or something like that. But I haven't seen it. I have not done it. I will never do it. In fact, I think speedruns just, when they get the rocket launcher, they come here immediately and get the orange communicator. And with that, we are good to go into the final levels. Only 3 left, and oh boy, they're things. They are all things. One thing I should note about the field map screen, though, each of the trucks does have a designated patrol pattern. It's just so minor, and the field stages are so easy that it's not worth trying to avoid them in my tastes. Unless you're doing a speedrun, which are... this is one of those NES games where the speedrun is less than 20 minutes, like Mega Man 1 and Castlevania. But it's a hard speedrun from what I can tell, because the grappling you do with the Bionic Hook with it is ridiculous. Speaking of which, this stage is pretty ridiculous with its hooking. There's not too many enemies in it, though, to worry about, but there are a lot of spikes and drops that you can do near spikes. Probably one of the more precise things here is that you have to swing backwards with this and just hook up immediately. When I first played the game, what I tried to do there was swing right and then swing left, letting go both times. But no, you can just do that. It's a lot easier. We're also going to get to see the return of the slime, and you're going to want to ride a slime to the left, because the only way to get past a pair of spikes down here without taking extreme damage, and I'd rather not take the damage. Thank you very much. I like living. It's a very fun thing to do. You should try it sometime. Without a doubt, though, one of the coolest tricks in the speedrun is in this next area after this communication room. This is M8. We've built a newly developed bazooka. Please obtain it from a man named Hal. Alright, we'll get to that eventually. What the speedrun does here is that it ignores the platform I'm waiting for to swing onto. And then it just swings across this, takes damage boosts through that, and then just ends up over here with a bit of health loss. It's really cool to see, but I will never do it. Bionic Commando, to me, in fact a lot of NES games, are those kinds of speedruns that look cool to watch, but unless you're really dedicated to the game, I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself, because it's short, but it's difficult. Also, another robot defense mechanism, rocket launcher. I love you for taking it out in one shot. Alright, though. We've got new weapons, we've gotten armor. What are we gonna get for clearing this stage? An extra life. Cool. Thanks. It's not like the continue system in this game is great, so that doesn't matter much. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we're gonna go end off the game. See you guys then.